Hello, you're tuning into the news bulletin today, November 24th. Coming first with local news. A delegation led by Chairman of Đồng Nai People's Committee Tiếng had a meeting with the People's Committee of Long Khánh City. Many suggestions were raised up for discussion related to planning and transport projects in the city. With the socio-economic achievements so far, the newly upgraded city of Long Khánh was asked to make effort to solve its pending issues by end of the year. Notably, the capital disbursement program for fundamental construction hasn't met the scheduled targets. The work of supporting farmers in the African swine fever epidemic remains sluggish despite the advanced disbursements of the province budget. Chairman Dũng emphasized that the province paid much attention to Long Khánh since it's a newly established city. In the coming time, Long Khánh should build up a plan for transport development with a focus on belt roads to best exploit the local transportation advantages. Also at the meeting, Chairman Dũng agreed to provide financial support from the provincial budget to implement a handful of projects in Long Khánh City. Since the number of case witnesses decreased due to the impact of African swine fever, pork prices have been sharply increased. To cover this issue, the Ministry of Industry and Trade proposed continuous measures to restore the balance of supply and demand of pork in the last month of the year and the upcoming Lunar New Year. In the last several days, the price of pork is nearly as high as the price of beef. Pork side price has gone up to 200,000 Vietnam dong per kilogram. In some areas, the price of live beef increased by 70,000 Vietnam dong per kilogram. Main reason came from a sharp drop of supply after the African swine fever. The Ministry of Industry and Trade had requested localities, ministries and departments to supervise and minimize the pork trade to neighboring countries. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development asked the Animal Health Department to facilitate the distribution of safety pork and pigs across localities to ensure the supply of pork. Local authorities must encourage people to use alternative foods, using frozen pork instead of hot meat to reduce the pressure on the domestic market. The Vietnamese Prime Minister has just decided on the methods of bidding in order to establish the feed-in tariff of solar power, which will be applied on July 1, 2019, following the decision number 11, 2017. The Prime Minister requested the feed-in tariff applied from July 1, 2019 must comply with the following principles. Only apply fixed incentive tariff for projects that have signed the solar power sale and purchase agreement, being under construction and to be put into operation in 2020. The remaining projects and new projects will be then shifted to the methods of public bidding or competitive bidding to reduce the power purchase tariff. The Prime Minister asked the Ministry of Industry and Trade to coordinate with the Committee of Management of State Capital and Enterprises, EVN and all ministries and localities to speed up the construction of the power transmission grids so as not to cause deflation, which can cause losses to investors, while the demand for electricity is in short of supply. The Ministry of Industry and Trade also needs to urgently prepare the 8th electricity planning and report to the Prime Minister for approval next year. World News. Iraqi government yesterday released that the U.S. Vice President Mike Pence had a discussion with the Iraqi Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi Fantafiki about the latest developments in Iraq, including a series of protests happened recently. The Prime Minister requested the feed-in tariff applied from July 1, 2019 must comply with the following principles. Only apply fixed incentive tariff for projects that have signed the solar power sale and purchase agreement, being under construction and to be put into operation in 2020. The remaining projects and new projects will be then shifted to the methods of public bidding or competitive bidding to reduce the power purchase tariff. The Prime Minister asked the Ministry of Industry and Trade to coordinate with the Committee of Management of State Capital and Enterprises, EVN and all ministries and localities to speed up the construction of the power transmission grids so as not to cause deflation, which can cause losses to investors, while the demand for electricity is in short of supply. The Ministry of Industry and Trade also needs to urgently prepare the 8th electricity planning and report to the Prime Minister for approval next year. Moscow is open for constructive cooperation with Washington on the basis of mutual respect for each other's interests. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said when he was attending the G20 Foreign Minister meeting in Japan. In the phone call, the two sides discussed around ways to strengthen the bilateral relations, cooperation potentials, as well as addressing the latest developments in Iraq and the government's reform efforts in response to the protesters' demands, said a statement from Iraqi government. This country also affirmed that the visit has been arranged by Iraqi officials and U.S. Vice President Mike Pence had met a phone call with Prime Minister Muntafiki. One day earlier, Pence arrived in Iraq to visit U.S. troops at the Al-Assad airbase. The visit came amid weeks of escalating anti-government protests erupted across Iraq. Demonstrators demand the government step down economic reforms, living quality improvement, basic services, and an end to the corruption. That's all today news. Thanks for joining us and goodbye.